I joined the Mississippi Power family in 2004, August of 2004, and I was immediately impressed by the level of detail and the level of planning that went around storm preparations. Every person at Mississippi Power Company had a storm assignment. They knew what that storm assignment was. There was a letter that was sent out to the employees and their supervisors and managers letting them know that. There were annual drills, presentations, specific training, whether you were logistics, manpower, etc. I was just impressed initially how serious and how much of a strong foundation Mississippi had in just storm preparedness. So I think we had a great foundation. I remember a group of us went to help out at Ivan. I remember that. A group of us went over there from Mississippi Power. And just being in their storm center and seeing all of the decisions and all of the confusion that they had because their infrastructure was so damaged. Ivan was the storm that really gave us pause to think that, hey, what if we don't have hotels? What if we don't have restaurants? What if we don't have these things that we have relied on in the past to house resources? What if? After Hurricane Ivan, the storm directors got together and we decided we would develop a worst case scenario. What is the worst thing that could happen for Mississippi Power Company, and how would we respond? What would we need? And we looked at that, and eerily, the path that Robert Powell had projected was very similar to Hurricane Katrina. But what that did was that we looked at and we said, okay, if this path happens, then we're going to need X number of resources, we're going to need Y number of logistics sites, staging area sites, we're going to need this, that, and the other. And we laid that plan out. And at that time, our worst case scenario was about 5,000 outside resources, probably about 3 or 4 staging areas. And although that was nowhere near in comparison to what we needed in Katrina, I think that in and of itself gave us a good idea of a pretty big, massive restoration effort. So when Katrina hit, because we had thought through all that, because we have already had plans in place, all we had to do was expand it. Those foundational plans that we had in place, they worked. We just grew them. It was huge. When you think about the amount of distribution lines down, the amount of transmission lines down, the amount of substations that we lost. I mean, we had 100% of Mississippi Power customers without power. I think that was the first time in our history, and hopefully will be the last time in our history. The difference between a normal storm and Hurricane Katrina is that you didn't even know where your lines were because there was nothing as far as the eye could see. From one, you could pan around 360 degrees and not see one structure up. I think every contractor, every outside resource, every employee within Mississippi Power Company took the lead on what they needed to do, made decisions, and was not afraid to make decisions, and did everything they could to ensure that we brought hope back to Mississippi and the communities within Mississippi. I was so impressed with the courage of the employees at Mississippi Power, especially those that had lost everything that they had owned, especially those that had family members who they still didn't know and had not heard from, and they never stopped. They never let up. They always knew what the end in mind was, and they persevered until we got it done. I do think that the planning and all the preparation that Mississippi Power does so greatly went into helping us do that, but it comes down to the people. It's not the poles, it's not the wire, it's the people, and it's the people at Mississippi Power that got it done.